The ontological singularity that precedes the Big Bang is the answer to everything. It's an eternal and necessary answer. According to Jews, Christians and Muslims, the ontological singularity is a perfect, eternal, all-powerful person. God, who created the Big Bang universe out of nothing at all. According to the followers of Eastern religion, the ontological singularity is not a perfect, eternal, all-powerful person, but some kind of impersonal cosmic mental force from which everything is produced. I.e., it created the Big Bang universe out of itself, not out of nothing. In Abrahamism, God is the creator. Since his creation is produced out of nothing, it contains none of his essence, i.e., he is divine but the world and its contents are not. Nevertheless, his presence and power are everywhere. The task in such a universe is to do God's bidding, win his favor, and join him in paradise. Failure results in being sent to hell forever. You get one lifetime in which to understand that God is your creator and you must do everything he commands. He will punish you without limit if you fail to grasp this. In Eastern religion, there is no personal creator. Creation is produced from the ontological singularity itself, hence everything partakes of its essence. If it has a divine essence, then so does the universe and all of its contents, including us. In Eastern religion, great play is made of the concept of illusion. It is asserted, more or less, that the ontological singularity seeks to hide itself from itself by creating a world that seems very different from what it truly is. The task is then to overcome the illusion and become one with reality as it really is, i.e., become one with the ontological singularity. You get as many lifetimes as you need to learn the truth of reality, i.e., to become enlightened. Your actions are not judged by any special person, a super being, but, rather, by an impersonal moral force, or, alternatively, a totally personal moral force that, for each person, attaches to them alone, called karma, which is able to discern which of your actions are good, and which are bad. You will be punished for your bad deeds, and rewarded for your good deeds. Believers in karma characterize it as a moral counterpart of science, with its own moral cause and effect, i.e., immoral actions cause bad consequences, while moral actions cause good outcomes. However, curiously enough, the ultimate goal of Eastern religion is not to make yourself karmically perfect and thus achieve a heavenly reward, but, rather, to escape from karma entirely. Karma is itself said to be part of the illusory world. Being perfect karmically would still mean that you were trapped in the illusion. From the Eastern perspective, Western heaven is simply the illusion that accompanies karmic perfection, but the point is to go beyond heaven to enlightenment, which is outside the system entirely. You become one with the underlying noumenal reality, not one with the peak of perfection of the phenomenal illusion. Science, as you would expect, completely rejects both Abrahamic faith and Eastern mysticism. However, it then proceeds to produce the most irrational and unbelievable suggestion of all, the worst non-explanation ever given for why we are here. Science claims that what preceded existence was in fact non-existence, even though non-existence can't precede anything since it doesn't exist, and existence, i.e., the Big Bang universe, simply erupted out of absolute nothingness for no conceivable reason, via no conceivable mechanism. It's just a random, inexplicable, unintelligible miracle, an act of self-performing magic. A withering internet meme says, scientific materialism and atheism. The belief that there was nothing, and nothing happened to nothing, and then nothing magically exploded for no reason, creating everything. Then a bunch of everything magically rearranged itself for no reason whatsoever into self-replicating bits, which turned into dinosaurs. Makes perfect sense. It's staggering that people who claim to be rational believe in things happening for no reason, just so that they can avoid the alternative of causation existing outside the world of science. They are fanatical believers in scientism and will let nothing dent their faith in their chosen belief system, even though it compels them to make insane statements, such as cats being simultaneously alive, dead and in mixed living dead states. When someone who believes total gibberish like this claims to be on the side of reason and to be stating fact rather than lunatic interpretation, you know the world has seriously dumbed down. Today's scientists are enormously stupider than the scientists of the past. This is because science is much more specialized now, and even to get into the game in any part of science, You need to spend many years getting up to speed before you can begin to make a serious contribution. The result is that scientists are extraordinarily narrow specialists, with no breadth of vision and insight. They are so focused on a tiny part of science that they have no time or inclination to take in the big picture, which is the level at which paradigmatic scientific thinking occurs, i.e., you can't establish a new paradigm unless you fully grasp the entirety of the prevailing paradigm, where it goes wrong, and how it needs to be fixed. Science is populated mostly by sensing types on the autistic spectrum. These people are naturally the types that are immersed in sensory detail and unable to grasp the big picture. As the saying goes, they can't see the wood for the trees. Scientific ultra-specialization disastrously magnifies this effect, and makes scientists even more autistic, even less capable of standing back and asking serious questions about what they are doing. Everything about science is creating a disastrous feedback loop that is locking scientists more and more into a deranged paradigm. Clear-thinking philosophers, the sort of people that ask the questions that might allow scientists to see where they are going wrong, were openly mocked and rejected. Scientists have locked themselves into their own prison, and they are never coming out. Their cell is right next to that marked Islam, which is equally full of non-questioning types. Why is it that the worshippers of scientism dismiss crazy religious claims that are utterly impossible, yet do not apply the same standard to the even crazier and more impossible claims of scientism? Carl Sagan, one of science's popes of unreason, said, "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Where is there any extraordinary evidence that minds do not exist, that free will does not exist, that causation does not exist, that an eternal mathematical singularity does not exist? Where is there any extraordinary evidence that living dead cats do exist, that unreal, abstract mathematical probability functions have any connection at all to reality? Since these functions are unreal, it is literally impossible that they can have any bearing on reality, so why are they invoked at all? They are formal impossibilities. There is absolutely nothing empirical about them, yet they are the centerpiece of scientific empiricism. You see, these people love scientism, so, like any religious fanatics, they will not criticize the belief system they have chosen. Ludicrously, they believe they can construct rational defenses of insane propositions. Listening to their demented reasoning is like listening to Christians using quotes from the Bible to prove their point to non-Christians. No one's listening to your irrational garbage, guys. You can believe your mad claims as much as you like. No one else is falling for it. Where are your sufficient reasons? Where is your logic? Where is your proof? Given that no one anywhere will ever encounter a living dead cat, why is this unobservable, non-empirical, impossible claim seriously proposed by the worshippers of scientism? They have literally zero evidence to justify this claim, yet these same people go around saying to others, "Where is your evidence?" Exactly so. Where is your evidence? You don't have any. You will never have any. Yours is a belief system, not a truth system. This is just the way the universe is, so we are told by the worshippers of scientism. You just have to accept it, they say, exactly as religious believers do. Sorry, we don't have to believe anything you say. At no stage do you have any evidence for anything. All you have is a set of claims, models and interpretations of models. The substantive part of science is the mathematical part. All the rest is speculative garbage, which raises the point of why do we need science when we can have mathematics? Science is just mathematics with a sham ideology of empiricism and materialism forced on top of it to satisfy sensing types and atheists. Scientists are compelled to promote this illogical gibberish because any alternative would not be part of the scientific paradigm, hence would destroy the whole scientific, materialistic, empiricist, nihilistic, random, purposeless, meaningless, chance, atheistic shtick. Science has to deny any eternal order, any intelligence that precedes science, any kind of mental existence that precedes matter. When you take away all of those possibilities, random miracles are your last resort, the only thing you can turn to, whether you like it or not. No scientist ever seriously defends this position. What they do is eagerly mock the alternatives, and hope that no one cottons on that their explanation is the worst non-explanation of all. Science is an insult to the intelligence. It's mind-bogglingly irrational and illogical. The reason for this is that it has thrown in its lot with the fallacies of the bogus philosophy of empiricism and materialism. It is under no compulsion to do so. It could have chosen the rival philosophy of rationalism and idealism, based on the principle of sufficient reason, which is not in any way reliant on the fallible, limited, unreliable, delusional human senses, and never feels any inclination to refer to living dead cats, moons that don't exist when no one is observing them, and existence pulling itself out of non-existence via nothing but its own decree, even though it doesn't exist.